Hello. I'm just checking on the sound and making sure everything's okay. If you can hear me, just let me know in the chat. It's nice to see everyone popping on and saying hello. Feel free to introduce yourself to one another. This is our time together. I was, hi. um, I was just adjusting some of the different cameras we have in this room. We're about to launch our new TikTok site. So we've just got a lot of different things happening in here. And thanks for your patience. Thanks for letting me know that the sound is good. Wow, I've had such a full morning. How about you? Oh, I love you too. Hi, welcome. I just want to take this moment to just say how much your gratitude, your appreciation, your comments, your feedback, the ways that you like this video and you encourage others to subscribe to our channel, it just means the world to me. I'm often honestly just taken aback by how much love there is here for this movement, for myself and the Team Angels, and also how articulate you are, and the depth of what is often written in reflections, and the depth of inner work, and just how honest and authentic you all are with your spiritual journey. I just want to send out a big shout out to you this morning. And when I hear from you of how the KR Daily Transmission and this YouTube channel and our Mystery School is serving your heart, it just means the world to me. It makes it all worth it to know that we are really making an impact, and that it's helping you to feel supported and grounded and inspired in your daily journey. So yeah, thank you so much. Today I wanted to answer some of your questions that came in. We've been getting so many questions about our upcoming event in Scottsdale, Arizona, which is called Love from the Other Side. And I have to say, I'm starting to get really excited about this event. It's an event that's very close to my heart. I've lost many people over the course of my life. Many people in the early part of my life that I can't go into much detail about, but you can read about that in the preface of my book, The Sophia Code, what I survived and what I advocate for. And it really became apparent to me over the past few years, just how important some of those souls are and have been my entire life, that I couldn't see clearly because of my own grief. And as I worked through my own grief and started to make that rainbow bridge connection from my heart to their soul on the other side, I started to identify that one of the main reasons I survived was because of some of these souls protecting me and guiding me, even beyond my understanding. And over the past few years, as I've grown in understanding and healing and integration with these particular guardian angels in my journey as a leader and as an advocate, my heart has opened wider to this mission to reach others who have transitioned loved ones that are attempting to get their attention too. The reality is like, we have such a traumatized society and world, and we have so much misunderstanding around death and the life that continues after the transition of death. And so it's recently become very clear to me that this is also a part of my mission, is to help us move into a very clear and conscious conversation about how life continues to go on long after the transition from this physical plane, and that there are so many fascinating co-creative relationships that are waiting to help empower our journey in this lifetime. Because everyone who's attracted to the Sophia Code has an extremely powerful divine purpose. We're here with an angelic mission, both individually and collectively as an international community. And so Shanti is writing in the chat right now, which I really appreciate. Feel free to add your comments in the live chat. And if you're watching on the video replay, feel free to share your thoughts and reflections and your questions in the comment field, because very often my team will gather your questions from the comments, and we'll use those comments and questions on the next day, on the next YouTube live. So Shanti's writing in, I don't know why I'm afraid to be in touch with the other side. And I just want to share, Shanti, that I'm deeply touched by your, the power of your vulnerable share. It's like, we don't have to understand all the reasons why we're afraid, but I do feel like this is a journey about discovering the benefits, discovering how we can courageously face those fears so that we can explore the creativity beyond the fears. And so this is why in the Sophia Code Mystery School, we always teach that circle of empowerment, where you are surrounded by the 8 pillars of the Ascended Masters from the Sophia Dragon Tribe. And in that sacred sovereign space, you can learn how to discern through the eyes and ears of your own higher self if there is a loved one that has transitioned on the other side that you have a soul contract with, to co-create with, to receive their perspective, to receive their friendship, and also to receive their support in your divine purpose. So just know that the fear and the anxiety that people have is very natural. And part of it is just, there's just so much misinformation about what it's really like on the other side of physical reality. And as we co-create and partner with these beautiful Ascended Master guides and our orders of angels, we're given the strength and the resources, both within and all around us, to really explore some of these topics around death and transition loved ones from a place of joy, a place of compassion, forgiveness, healing, understanding, and most importantly, what I'm all about, empowerment. So I also see another comment coming in from Amy, and Amy's writing in saying that she feels blocked. My mom seems to connect tangibly with others, but not so much with me. And I just want to share with you, Amy, like, my heart goes out to you, because I know how painful it can feel when you want to be connecting more consciously with a loved one on the other side, but there might be a block there emotionally that is creating resistance or challenge around that communication. Very often it has to do with either unresolved grief, any forgiveness work that might need to happen between you and that soul. And it doesn't even have to be about forgiveness. It's about something they might have done that was unresolved before they left this world. I'm not going to channel specifically for your mother in this moment, but I'm going to give you some examples that sometimes it's so interesting, the blocks that can get created. It can be as simple as forgiving God that death even exists. It can be as simple as like forgiving life, that part of life is the transition of death into more life. There's so many interesting unconscious wounds that we can carry around the subject matter of death. Or it could be that there is unresolved material between you and a loved one that's crossed over. And so when we, through prayer, meditation, and of course, emotionally supportive therapies to help us walk through the forgiveness process, to help us walk through the integrative process, because you might not be ready to forgive and let go of certain unresolved issues right away, and that's fair. And what's so interesting to me about this work, when we know that soul is a part of the healing journey, that soul is there, part of the conversation that we are walking ourselves through in the physical world, it brings context to it. This is a healing journey that is still happening for both the people on earth and the souls on the other side. And so I have found that the more that I bring healing and completion to my own unresolved feelings about losing some very, very important souls to my own heart very early in my life, that I still working out my rage and my grief about losing these souls the way that I lost them, which again, I can share privately in my events and on my private membership platform, but I can't talk publicly on this platform. That, you know, as the years go by and I'm integrating those losses better and better, because I'm taking my time with it, what happens is that my connection becomes clearer and clearer to those loved ones on the other side. So any heart work that we do around anything that still feels painful or unresolved, or even like even nostalgia can be a block, where we can so wish for another time in our life that it blocks us from having the current opportunity that's here to connect with our loved ones on the other side, because they're still there. They still want to have this direct connection with us. But if we are attached to the nostalgia of another time, another way that relationship was experienced, it can prevent us from moving into the current pleasant and present experience that we can have with that soul. Just like all things multidimensional, it's multi-layered. And the more curious we are, the more we practice self-compassion and self-love for the journey of opening our hearts to receiving love from the other side. Over time, the clearer and clearer we get to feel those interactions that are happening all of the time. So if there are other people that are having direct experiences with your mother, but you're not feeling it as much, that means she's still attempting to communicate to you all the time. It's just that you're preparing your heart to accept and integrate for whatever reason, which is, you know, your private business, to accept and integrate that she is there and she is ready to do that work with you when you're ready. So I hope that's helpful. And thank you so much for such an authentic and vulnerable question. It's an honor to be any part of your journey. Emily is writing in, sharing, I lost my best friend when I was 15 and I have more grief coming up around it, anger and frustration and misunderstanding and a lot of love. It's been eye-opening over the past few days. Emily, I'm assuming that when you say over the past few days, it's over the past few days of exploring this topic together on YouTube Live. And I just want to thank you so much for your authentic reflections. God bless you for the loss of your best friend, and bless your heart as you are stepping into this next layer of integration and grief and being present with your feelings, which I promise you, I can assure you, and this is what this event is about coming up in October in Scottsdale, Arizona on October 15th. When we take the time to be with our own heart's grief about the loss, about, maybe we feel guilty about feeling angry for someone leaving. Oh, I'm so glad that helped, Amy. I just care about you so much. Thank you for letting me know that was helpful for you. When we take the time to acknowledge, like, death brings up so many feelings that are honestly kind of uncomfortable for a lot of people. Anger is uncomfortable, rage feels uncomfortable, grief feels uncomfortable. If somebody has committed suicide, that can feel really uncomfortable, that you can feel angry with them about the choice that they made because you already feel so terrible that they felt that terrible that they had to leave this world. And it's important for us to come into a recognition that the more we allow our feelings to be exactly what they are, information. It's information that your heart wants your attention, that there's still healing there. There's still spiritual gold to be, unpacked inside your heart as you let yourself be fully present with exactly where you are with the loss of a loved one. What can happen is it does, I promise you, it clears the space for your ability to communicate with your loved ones on the other side to become clearer and clearer and clearer. So much so that your loved ones will become the ones that are meant to be a part of your day-to-day life, like the ones I'm talking about, I was sharing about earlier. They're a part of my daily life. They help me with my leading a movement. They help me with being a human being, with all of my feelings. They help me with every aspect of my life. But that didn't consciously happen until I did a lot of healing around it. And now that space is far more clear, because I've been with the grief, I've been with the anger over the loss, I get to experience the daily joy and the unexpected and fascinating moments of how they want to help me and how they want to co-create with me, whether it's with shopping or cooking or sightseeing or exploring something I never thought I would. These promptings, this love from the other side encourages me to expand and grow in new ways that maybe I wouldn't if I wasn't in a conscious relationship with my loved ones on the other side. So I'm just going to share a little bit about that. There's another question. Jennifer sharing, my uncle Tino that has passed over loves to show my dreams. Now that's a beautiful way to receive a message from a loved one on the other side. Vienna is sharing that this sounds so familiar. I'm experiencing deja vu listening to your words, Kaia. Thank you. I'm so glad this is resonating with you. David is sharing, who's in our Sophia Circle Leadership journey this year as a nurse educator. The teachings about individuals passing is woefully inadequate. We definitely need more types of this conversation. Thank you for sharing that, David. It's true. Like, the more we can dispel all of these myths about death and the soul and how connected we all are to one another, whether in this world or with our loved ones in the higher realms, it's like the more we can receive the love that's all around us all of the time. It's the dogma, it's the fear, it's the separation from this love that keeps us held, frozen in the trauma of the loss. And part of thawing out from that trauma of losing a loved one is to clear the space within our hearts to keep having a life with them. Now, again, not everyone that's ever going to cross over in your lifetime is, a loving spiritual guide on the other side. Like, there are people that pass over, friends, family, neighbors, educators, just people you've known growing up, that they're going on with their path. It's just like in life, like there's a season and a reason that might be kind of short for not everyone you meet in your life is a forever chapter. And so what we're talking about here is souls that you have such a deep heart connection to, that when they cross over, you can still feel that rainbow bridge, a heart connection of communication, even though they're on the other side. And the more we clear the space for them to be able to co-create with us through sovereignty, that's important, that it remains sovereign, just as we want to have sovereign relationships with our physical friends on the earth plane. Something really extraordinary can happen, because they can act as spiritual guides that honestly know you better than any angel or even any ascended master, because they've walked and lived with you. Like a mother passing over, she gave birth to you, so she knows you in ways that no one is ever going to know you, because your body formed inside of her body. And so, if you did have a healthy relationship with your mother and she crosses over, it's probably a good idea to establish that relationship communication again in her transition place, because she's probably still wanting to look out for you and share her wisdom and her support with you moving forward in your life. So I'm going to go to these 3 questions. I'm so glad that everyone is loving this in the chat. It feels really good to read everybody's questions. And someone's asking, I am Summer, sharing, why do spirits seem to come to you when you're trying to sleep in bed? That's a great question, because this used to happen to me all of the time. The reason, if you are psychically open, even just a little bit, like, beings on the other side are going to attempt to communicate to you all of the time. But when we go to sleep, we start to relax our defenses. Our body is going into another state of, the brain is going into another space of functioning and rest and regeneration. And so, that hyper focus upon the physical world is softening as you're softening your eyes, as you're calming everything down. Maybe you're giving thanks for your day, and your other chakras start to open up to the dream world, right? And so as those chakras soften and open up to another part of your consciousness that's involved with sleep and regeneration, your inner eyes and even your physical eyes are softened to see other parts of reality that are interfacing with your physical reality. So that softening, that receptivity, that state of relaxation, that's why they say if you want to cultivate your psychic abilities, take time to rest, take time to meditate, take time to be around water. The flow of water puts you in a meditative, more open state of consciousness. That that open, receptive, relaxed state of consciousness is actually a big part of psychic development, because we are always receiving messages from our spiritual guides, our guardian angels, our loved ones on the other side, the presence of God, your higher self, the earth, and a whole lot of other telepathic information that's being, just sort of flung around between human beings all day long. And so what we are learning with the circle of sovereignty, of sovereign empowerment with our ascended master mentors in the Sophia Code Mystery School, is how to discern when you want to have conversations with what beings, what are the parameters of that conversation. And so when you're falling asleep, and if a spirit is coming to have a conversation with you at that time, it's because you're the most relaxed to be able to have that conversation. With that said, you don't have to have a conversation with a spirit that you don't want to. You have every sovereign right to tell that spirit to leave if that's not a being that you want to converse with in that way. So, yes, there's a woman, I've never seen you in the chat, so welcome to our community. Hello, my name is Jacqueline. Is there a way to determine if a loved one who passed has crossed over to the light and is stuck due to an unresolved issue? I lost my brother to addiction 14 years ago. I just want to say how sorry I am for your loss, and my heart goes out to you. It sounds as though this was a great loss for you. Perhaps you were very close to your brother. And I just want to share that without going into channeling your brother, because I'm not going to do that here on YouTube Live. It's really based on the soul, depending on what the soul set up before they came into the lifetime. It really depends on their spiritual development in previous lifetimes, like what happens after the soul leaves the body from a traumatic experience like addiction. What I can assure you of is that every soul is assigned guardian angels and a high council that will do their best to guide that soul to a higher place in the cosmos where they can receive healing, education, and reflection about the karmic growth lessons that they participated in, such as losing their life to addiction. So I do know that the power of prayer is extremely powerful for supporting your loved ones on the other side if they are feeling challenged or lost or trapped in certain dimensional realities. The prayer can open that portal up for your loved ones to remember that they have spiritual guides, to remember that they have angels, and to remember that there are resources for them to go to in the spirit world where they can continue their soul's growth and their soul's healing and choose additional incarnations where they can continue to grow and learn and choose new timelines and future lifetimes. So given that it feels like you're a very conscious light worker, your personal healing and development as you continue to bring healing and growth around the subject matter of, how addiction has been a trauma for your family lineage. It's like the more love, self-love, self-compassion that you bring to your own heart, to this dialogue of forgiveness with your brother, it's going to create a very clear space within your body, heart, and mind to be able to know if and when your brother's spirit needs more support through prayer. And also to know, that he is on his own sovereign journey as well. And if he wants to co-create with you in your divine purpose, I hope you could come to our event in Scottsdale. It might bring a lot of peace to this conversation that you're in with your brother's soul. But I want to thank you for such a profound question. And I deeply trust that any light workers that have loved ones on the other side that may be struggling from lifetime to lifetime, please know that your prayers make such a huge impact on other souls. Like really, they really, really do. And I'm actually wearing the White Buffalo Woman pendant today. White Buffalo Woman is an exceptional ascended master to help you connect with your loved ones on the other side, and to also receive her support and the White Buffalo's support to help souls go higher back to the light, to the resources that they need, to the angelic support that they need on the other side. There are cities of light where where any soul can receive healing and education and reflection, which can set them up to create lifetimes that have very different outcomes. I want to share, just in closing to this particular topic, I had a lifetime. Funny enough, we often do very similar things in multiple lifetimes. And I had a lifetime in England where I was a very famous author in England. I was a man. And I actually can't remember who I was, but I can see myself, and I can see the dynamics of success, and also the dynamics of being an alcoholic in that lifetime. And I was an alcoholic in that lifetime because I was severely abused in my childhood in that lifetime as well. And I didn't, this was a long time ago. And so there weren't therapies or psychologist's office or, new age healing centers to go to deal with the abuse, in that lifetime. It was just like you and the bottle, and like, working it out that way, the pain, the searing pain that I experienced in that lifetime, that was a big part of embracing my creativity as an author in that lifetime. But it was also something that constantly needed to be medicated because I didn't know how to process the pain. And ironically, in this lifetime, I don't drink. It wasn't because I was an alcoholic in this lifetime. There's a balancing that's happening in this lifetime that I actually really enjoy not drinking. And I don't judge anybody who does. Like, please know I'm not sharing a story about that. But what I'm sharing is like, every lifetime is an opportunity to balance out the pain and the unresolved healing of a previous lifetime. So I trust that with a sister like you, your brother has a bright future ahead. So thank you so much for your question. Deeply touched by it today. So, wow, that was a lot of questions and an amazing conversation that we just had. I think I'll save these questions that my team created for me for tomorrow, because that was a lot of info. And I just wanted to close with, let's just take a moment in prayer together, because, there's just been such powerful shares in the chat. And please, if you aren't able to see this video live and you want to share your reflections and your questions, like, you can put them in the comment feed of the video replay here on YouTube. And before we take a moment in prayer, if you could just remember to like this video to show your support, to add your comments in the video replay, even if you're joining us live, and to subscribe to our channel in support of this international ministry. It would be so helpful and so appreciated. So today I would like to invoke the presence of White Buffalo Woman and the Order of Sky Grandmothers, who are these ascended ancestral guides that are a key code in the Sophia Code, for helping us to release the grief of generations, the grief of our ancestors, and the grief of our own hearts of losing, loved ones in unresolved ways. And so I welcome the presence of white buffalo woman into this transmission today. I just love you so much, white buffalo woman. I'm so moved by your holy presence and so grateful that you are a part of this codex, and just so grateful for all the ways that you show up in such miraculous and mysterious signs that guide us towards a much more expanded understanding of how multidimensional our lives really are, and how quantum physical reality is, how fluid physical reality is, and that you really teach us that there is this rainbow connection. It's a bridge between our hearts and the souls that we love. And so today, white buffalo woman, I welcome your blessing and your healing light to bless anyone's heart on this call, on this transmission today, that needs to feel the comfort of your presence and the comfort of the divine mother who you represent, and your consciousness, and the presence of divine father to bless those hearts and those souls that are seeking to make a much deeper connection across reality, across the veil. No matter how physical we are all still souls traveling together on this journey of enlightenment and sovereignty and divinity. And so we welcome your blessing and your guidance for those who are in need of your loving support today. And with all the gratitude in my heart, I thank you and the white buffalo for helping us to remember how strong we are, how courageous we are, and what a gift it is that our hearts are this willing to be this awake at this time on the planet, such a pivotal time on the planet. And so with all the love in my heart, I send out this prayer to you and to those watching on the replay. And thank you for joining us for today's KR Daily Transmission. If you'd like to learn more about our event, Love from the Other Side, which will be in Scottsdale, Arizona, this will be an in-person event only. Please feel free to reach out to my team angels. They're happy to get on the phone with you and share more about this extraordinary, groundbreaking event. First time ever that we're offering it, and we hope we get to be with you live. So all my love to you. Have a wonderful day or evening wherever you are. Remember, you are blessed, you are held, you are supported, you are the light of this world. Mwah.